Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Montreal CANADINS FANS. Let's get to the news now, guys. If you've been paying attention to the NHL lately, you know that things are heating up, especially in the Atlantic Division. The Montreal Canadiens, a team that's been rebuilding and reshaping its roster over the past couple of seasons, is now at the center of some pretty intense trade rumors that could change the landscape of the conference. And trust me, what's happening right now is not just your typical player movement. It's a strategic move that might set the Canadiens up for a real Stanley Cup push in the near future. The buzz is all about a potential trade involving Jordan Kyrou from the St. Louis Blues, and let me tell you, this isn't just speculation anymore. The talks are heating up, and the Canadiens are clearly involved in the race. So, what's the big deal about Jordan Kyrou? Well, for those who follow the NHL closely, you know that Kyrou is a dynamic winger with a scoring ability that's hard to ignore. Last season, he put up 36 goals and 70 points, showing that he's not just a flash in the pan but a legit offensive threat. And at just 26 years old, he's entering what should be his prime years, with a cap hit of $8. $125 million through 2029. That's a significant investment, but it also shows how highly the Blues value him. Now, the Canadiens, fresh off their first playoff appearance since 2021, are looking to add that kind of firepower on the wings to complement Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki, creating a formidable top line that could do real damage next season. But what's really interesting is the context of these trade talks. According to multiple reports, the Canadiens aren't just casually kicking tires. They're in deep negotiations, and the conversations are ongoing late into the night. The framework of the potential deal involves Kirby Dach, a young center with huge upside, and Mike Matheson, a solid defenseman who can contribute both offensively and defensively. This kind of package makes sense for the Blues because, as their GM Doug Armstrong said recently, they're pretty strong on the wing right now but need a second-line center. His words were clear. "We're very strong on the wing right now. We're one of 27 teams that would love to find a second-line center. If we make a trade, it'll be an apple for an apple." That signals that the Blues are open to deals that balance their roster, and Dach, despite some injury setbacks, is still viewed as a high-upside player who could thrive in a top-6 role. Now, let's take a closer look at Kyrou himself. The guy is coming off a career year, scoring 36 goals and racking up 70 points. His style of play is exciting, he's fast, skilled, and has a nose for the net. His cap hit of over $8 million might seem hefty, but in today's NHL, that kind of contract is becoming more common for top-tier wingers. And while the Blues have publicly said Kyrou isn't actively shopped, insiders like Andy Strickland suggest that St. Louis could consider moving him if the right offer comes along. That's a key point because it indicates the team isn't necessarily looking to trade him, but they're definitely listening if the deal makes sense. For the Canadiens, that's a golden opportunity to snag a player who could instantly elevate their offensive game and add a real scoring punch to their roster. And think about the bigger picture here. The Canadiens, after making their first playoff appearance in a couple of years, are clearly in a mode of retooling and accelerating their rebuild. They've already added Noah Dobson from the New York Islanders, a move that signals their intent to compete sooner rather than later. Dobson is a young, talented defenseman with a lot of upside, and pairing him with other young stars can really set the foundation for a formidable blue line. Now, if they manage to land Kyrou as well, that would give them a dynamic scoring winger to complement Caulfield and Suzuki, forming a line that could be among the league's most dangerous. Let's not forget that the landscape of the NHL is constantly shifting. Teams like the Colorado Avalanche, Toronto Maple Leafs, and Edmonton Oilers are all making moves, and the Canadiens are positioning themselves right in the mix. The trade market is hot, and with the NHL's recent focus on tampering rules, Things are happening quickly but also more carefully, making every move highly strategic. Now I want to pause here for a second. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Montreal Canadiens news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Because guys, what's happening behind the scenes right now could totally reshape the Canadiens' future. If they pull off this Kyrou deal, it's not just about adding a talented player. It's about sending a message to the league that Montreal is serious about contending in the near future. The fanbase has been patient, the team has been rebuilding, and now it looks like they're ready to take that next step, even if it means making some bold moves. Looking at the bigger picture, the Canadiens' management has been very strategic. They've been patient, drafting well, developing their prospects, and making smart free agent signings. But what's exciting now is their willingness to push the chips in and go after proven NHL stars like Kyrou. It signals a shift from just rebuilding to retooling for real contention. And with the core they already have, Suzuki, Caulfield, and now Dobson, the pieces are starting to come together for a team that could surprise a lot of people in the upcoming seasons. And let's talk a bit about the other side, the Blues. They're in a different phase, trying to find the right balance on their roster. Doug Armstrong is known for being a shrewd GM, and he's not going to make a move unless it benefits his team in the long run. Kyrou's age, talent, and contract make him an attractive piece for any contender, but the Blues are also keeping their options open. They're reportedly looking for a deal that's fair, and that's where players like Datch and Matheson come into play. Datch, despite recent injuries, has the potential to be a top-6 center, and if he can stay healthy and develop, he could be a cornerstone for Montreal's future. Matheson, on the other hand, brings stability and offensive ability from the blue line, adding to the Canadiens' already promising defense core. So, what does this all mean for the Canadiens' upcoming season? Well, if they manage to finalize this deal, it would be a massive boost to their lineup. They'd be adding a proven scorer who can play alongside Caulfield and Suzuki, creating a line that could rival some of the best in the league. It would also send a strong message to their division rivals that the Canadiens are not just content with small steps, they're aiming high. The Atlantic Division is fierce, with teams like the Tampa Bay Lightning, Florida Panthers, and Boston Bruins all vying for supremacy, but Montreal's aggressive approach could tip the scales in their favor. The fan excitement around this possible trade is palpable. Montreal fans have been waiting patiently, hoping that the team would make a bold move to accelerate their rebuild. Now, it looks like that moment might be near. The potential addition of Kyrou would not only boost the team's offensive firepower, but also energize the fanbase, giving them something to rally behind. Imagine the electric atmosphere at the Bell Center if this trade goes through. A team with Suzuki, Caulfield, and Kyrou skating together, bringing that fast-paced, high-scoring hockey that Montreal fans love so much. And of course, this isn't just about one player or one trade. It's about the Canadiens showing that they're serious about competing again, about building a team that can challenge for the Stanley Cup. The rebuild has been long and patient, but now it's starting to look like the pieces are falling into place. The management's willingness to be aggressive in the trade market signals that they're not just content with being a middle-of-the-pack team anymore. They want to be contenders, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. So, fans, keep your eyes on the news. Things are moving fast, and the next few weeks could be pivotal for the Canadiens. The trade talks involving Kyrou, Datch, Matheson, and perhaps other pieces are all part of a bigger plan to reshape this team into a serious Stanley Cup contender. The excitement is building, and I know you're just as eager as I am to see what unfolds. The Canadiens have a rich history of overcoming the odds, of turning underdog status into champions, and I truly believe this current front office is aiming to write a new chapter in that storied franchise. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all these trade rumors? Do you think Kyrou would be the perfect fit? Are you excited about the possibility of adding such a dynamic player to the roster? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Canadiens, and I love seeing your passionate discussions. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Montreal Canadiens news. We're in this together, and I can't wait to see how this story unfolds. Let's keep that passion alive, and as always, go Canadiens!